Welcome to our Tremolo series.
In this series, we're going to share with you tremolo pedals by some of our favorite manufacturers.
Thanks for joining us. Today we're featuring the Boss TR-2 Tremolo. And the Beard's going to tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah, probably not much to say, right? This is a classic tremolo pedal.
Right.
This is the first video we're shooting for the tremolo series on an individual pedal. We started with this one because it is, it's probably the standard in some regards, right? Really simple tremolo. You have 3 controls on it. You have a rate, a depth, and a waveform. And what's interesting is that you can kind of, I feel like if you have the wave knob straight up and down, you're in that sine wave territory. And as you roll it to the left, you get the peaks. And as you roll it to the right, you get the square waves.
Right.
So, amazingly, there's a lot of sounds in those 3 knobs.
There are.
In fact, you were looking at, that Boss's manual?
I was looking at Boss's manual, and they had
like
3 or 4 different suggested sounds, and they did sound very different from each other.
Right, and they were calling them things like kind of a rotary speaker or
the electric piano,
right,
classic sound.
So let's just hear it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think we start with the rate. What, straight up and down?
It's not our show if we don't start at 12, right?
So we get everything at 12. Let's start with the depth. So we're going to leave the waveform straight up and down. That should be more. To me, it sounds like more of a sine wave.
Right.
So picture, because this is one of the first ones we're doing on individual pedals, sine wave, if you think back to math class, right? Kind of that rolling hill. And so when we get to this, when we roll to the left, that rounded sine is going to come peak. So it's going to be a sharper hit. And then when we go to the right, it's going to square. So when you have a square wave, you're going to hear not just kind of like the volume rolling off, you're going to hear like a choppy.
Which I like with drive, what you're going to hear eventually. That's why the blues driver is sitting there today with.
Right. So if you need an overdrive to pair with the Boss Tremolo,
It's all Boss all the time today.
Right.
So I'm playing a 2001 PRS single cut through a PV Classic 30. No delay, just a little bit of reverb in the amp.
All right, so let's roll. Actually, let's not start on 12
We'll take the depth all the way down to bring
take the depth all the way down.
Okay.
And let you play through.
Sounds good.
It does. Right there. Let's do the same thing with the waveform. I'll let you play through once or twice, then I'll roll it halfway and then all the way to the left. Then we'll go back to the top and do the same thing to the right, just so people can hear what's going on. It does sound good.
It does sound really good.
It really does. So, well, why is the Boss the class? I mean, why is it such a classic? It sounds right. I guess just rate, and this is kind of it's harder territory to kind of play and have somebody change the rate,
Right.
Because effects like this, like this is a modulation effect, and it has a habit of setting tempo for you,
Right.
Like especially when you get something that's kind of really choppy, it's hard to play against that sometimes. But let's try that.
Maybe I'll just play the same chord.
Yeah, maybe just kind of strumming the same chord
or something. Yeah, right.
So you might ask, you might not.
You might.
Why go and do a bunch of tremolos if this is what it is?
Right.
And so we've picked out for this series a whole bunch of great tremolos that we have coming up that take kind of this very basic principle of let's change the waveform, let's change the rate, and let's change how intense that is.
Right.
And just start building on it.
Right.
So some of them get into different, like I said, it drives the rhythm, get into things like tap tempo. Some of them get into some different types of waveforms, so it's not just sine or triangle or square. There's a whole lot of really
expression pedals,
tap tempo pedals, external taps. So there's a whole lot of things coming in the series that kind of take this real basic idea of just a tremolo,
right,
and really start to expand on it. And not only that, get into amp sounding tremolo, different types of tremolos, harmonic tremolo, optical tremolo. So this is a really great starting point for us to say, hey, look, this is just basic kind of tremolo.
Yeah.
Let's build on that. So if you're interested in that, we have a whole bunch more pedals coming up. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if you would. These things help us out. Check out Instagram. Check out Facebook. We're there too. We can preview some of the things that are coming up so you get a heads up on which pedals are coming next and things like that, or stuff that's coming in. And I think with that, for this one...
That's right. With that, I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.
Never resist playing with that rate knob.
No, it's become our really sad signature.